So do come and say hello in the chat as usual. So do come and say hello in the chat as usual. I've got my voice coming back to me. I don't know how that's happened. Come and say hello in the chat. There we go. Didn't have that on mute. That's why that was. Apologies for that. Hear my own voice echoing back at me. $15 in today. Missing a few again. Not quite as many as we're missing for Blobby Mondays later on, where it could be a very quiet one. So we will see about that. Just 3 weeks left in the respective seasons as well. Craggy has one hand on the title. Who's that making a move? It is Marvski. In the V card. Game has had another update. There's Max out on track. Game has had another update, so we'll see what that does to it. Whether there's any improvements or not. Craggy's on his way as well, the championship leader. Colin and Syme also. And now Senna entering the fray as well. It is going to be Marvski first to complete the outlet. A couple more now appearing, including both of the Ferraris, Swanton and Sloth. And Sainsey, also, no, not Sainsey, I apologise, that's a Red Bull, so that's Mr. Pickle. Marvski then will start us off. DRS opens and off he goes. Let's see how this goes. Through the twist and turning sector 1 comes Marvski. 32.3 for sector 1. No idea how good that is. We will find out. A few others now making their way round. One 12.5 through sector 2 for Marvski, who's going to cut to the chicane now. Round the final corner and to the line in 1:29.8. So let's see what Max is going to do here. Looks to be slightly quicker. 128.8. So there's a second quicker for Max than Marvsky. Craggy has returned to the pits without setting a lap. Here is Colin to the line, 129.5 for him. And Syme will be next with a 129.0. Senna 129.1. So you can see the ballpark we're in at the moment. Skippy does a 132. Colin was off there, I think. Or somebody was off, I'm not sure. Here comes Sloth now, following Mr. Pickle. Pickle 131.8. Sloth 131.6. Those two and Skippy, of course, engaged in this battle for the Pro-Am Championship. I'll take you through all the standings later on. Here is Smug. 32.5 through Sector 1. Had a bit of a wobble out of that corner. On 12.8, which is around about Marvsky kind of 130 pace, I think. We shall find out as Smug comes round the final corner, and it's a 129.9 and puts him in P6. Swanton through the chicane now. And up towards the line. And a 129.2 for him. And that takes him to P4. Just ahead of Sloth, who also improved there to a 129.2. So closely matched at Ferrari. This is Al Newt. Sainsy and Craggy also out there. Newty is a bit off the 130 pace.
Good evening.
Good evening to Stacey in the chat. Hope you're settled in for your Monday night entertainment here. 132.5 for Newty. He's going to need to do better than that. Here comes Sainsy. And Sainsy hits a 130.3. Craggy behind 139. So Craggy definitely going for another attempt. Max is back on track. Currently in provisional pole position. Marvsky's original lap has now dropped him down to 7th. With Colin ahead of him as well as the Ferraris.
Come on, Team RB.
Joker cheering on the V-Cubs. Marvsky and Sainsy. Two Pro-Ams in the same car today. And Newty improves to a 129.6. Good lap for him, that's P7. Keep an eye on Craggy here. And he's locked up and thrown it into the chicane. A big spin for Craggy, who's now had to reset to the pit once again. TMK yet to join in. Max is up on his time, improving the pole time at the moment. Senna's back out there as well. Swanson and Sloth on outlaps once again, as is Marvsky and Smug. Marvsky just starting his lap. Big lock up for Max, but is it going to cost him any time? Or is he going to improve this pole time? To the line he comes, and he just doesn't improve. So maybe a bit of a missed opportunity there for him. Was that Craggy off again? No, Craggy's in the pit, so it was our Newt who had the yellow flags flying. He's on an in-lap. Marvsky is back out there. Slightly down on his time. Senna then, slightly up on his Sector 1 time. And going by a Red Bull that got out of his way. Good evening to Bazza in the chat. Pops up just as we have Senna on screen here, but he's 3/10 down on his time. So let's see how Syme's doing. He's pretty much level through the first sector. And now he's up on his second place, so he could be going for provisional pole here, Syme. Good evening to Cam in the chat as well. Looking forward to seeing you later on in Miami. And Syme improves, but not enough. 128.9. Stays in P2. Senna goes again. Here's Sloth as well on his way. Marvsky goes again. Nobody's really got through much of a lap so far. Everybody in this sector 1 and 2 at the moment. A bit congested. Craggy's back out there again. He's not quite nailed it just yet, and sits 14th at the moment. Senna getting out of the way there, so he'll be coming back in. Smug is improving on his time by quite a lot. This could put him on the front 2 rows if he can nail this sector 3. Here he comes to the line, and it is P3 for Smug. Look at that, by 1,000th of a second ahead of Senna. 129.189, taking over Senna's 129.190. Incredible stuff. And now a bit of a lull before the final attempts for everyone. Most of them are in the pits, so we'll go on board with Craggy as he makes another attempt. I don't know who IQ was, but they were in the session and have left. Craggy using all the Kirby dares to there, and he almost spun it. But he is up slightly on his time, but of course his time is well off the pace. Let's see then through sector 2. That's more like it. Throws it through the final corner, and Craggy is going to go to P2. It's P2 for Craggy, 128.8, but not quite enough to get ahead of Max. Skippy on his outlap, 3 minutes remaining. Skippy well down the order in P12 at the moment, and he's been fighting with the front runners in a lot of races. He's been top 5, top 6 in qualifying quite often this season. Marvsky, who performed well on debut until crashing out. His debut last week, he did well until crashing out. And he sits nicely in P8 at the moment. TMK has not come out at all. So he's either going for a late one shot or he's just going to start at the back. A minute and a half left now, so if you're not leaving the pits now, then I think that is you done with. Marvsky starts his hot lap. 50 Gent remains in the pits. And TMK, and it doesn't look like they're going to resurface here. So the back two are set. Craggy's cruising. And still cruising, so he's not going to make another attempt. Syme has gone to P3 at 128.9, but it's very, very tight. In the absence of Craggy blowing everybody away in qualifying, it's very tight, and anybody could still throw a big lap in to finish it here. Swanton, Al Newt, and Smug are the last ones on their outlaps. Smug crosses now. Swanton has 13 seconds. Senna, there it is! There it is. I said somebody could put a pole lap in, and Senna has done just that. Swanton makes the line with 3 seconds to spare, and now here we are. So Marvsky has crossed the line. He has not improved. He did improve, but didn't improve the position. Next round is his teammate Sainsey, and Sainsey is 13th for 129.9. Colin is out. Syme crosses the line, as the Sloth with a bit of an improvement. No, he invalidated. And Max has got it back. Max has got it back. 128.2. Can Smug or Swanton land a blow? Mr. Pickle's still going. He's going to be next over the line, followed by Skippy. So Pickle, it goes ahead of Skippy. Skippy is miles down, so that's going to be that for him. Newty is next, but crawling. Swanton, big improvement. Could he get to the front row? Senna, I'm sure, is on his way back into the pits. Swanton to the front row. P2 for Swanton, 128.4, and Smug 128.6. Smug to P3, Swanton P2. Max takes the pole, and Senna, from hitting that lap that went provisional pole, will have to settle for 4th. Ahead of Craggy and Syme, Sloth and Marvsky. Thrilling end to the qualifying session then. Just waiting for a couple of cars to be put away, I think. As Colin... Did he crash or did he quit? I'm not sure. Swanton and Smug showing up big towards the end of the session, but it wasn't enough to take pole out of the hands of Real Max World. Swanton P2, Smug and Senna will share the second row from Craggy and Syme. Sloth and Marvsky, the first two Pro-Ams from Colin and Al Newt. Mr. Pickle and Skippy further down than they'd like to be, followed by Sainsy and 50 Gent, and TMK starts at the back after not setting a time. Someone can tell me in chat if he had a quali ban. I don't think he did, as we've not seen very much of him this season. Someone readied up early last week and got in a bit of trouble for that. So hopefully no one does that today. As you see the pit wall, overcast but dry by the looks of it. And while you see the pit wall and the drivers select their strategies and tyres, fuel loads, etc., I am going to get the championship standings. With 3 races remaining, Craggy has a big lead in the championship. It's almost an unassailable one. He can be crowned the champion today. He's 71 points ahead of Joker, who's not here. Max is 1 point further behind. In the Pro, that's slightly less. 64 points ahead of Joker, and Max is 2 further back. And in the Pro-Ams, it's a 14-point lead for Sloth. Sainsy, Skippy second. Sainsy a further 19 back. And Mr. Pickle dropping out of it a little bit. Just 7 more back. I think it's still going to be wide open for second place, Joker, but Max on pole is not what you wanted to see in that battle. And of course, the title is still open for the constructors as well. McLaren lead, Craggy and Al Newt, 12 points clear of Ferrari, Swanton and Sloth. 5 points back are Sainsy and Joker in the Racing Bulls. Williams probably...
Not what I want to see.
Williams too far back, I think. Followed by Red Bull. Haas are at the back. Joker wishing some misfortune on Max then for tonight. All in the spirit of friendly rivalry, of course. I'll take you through some tyre choices on the formation lap.
Shushing face.
Where it's not a huge difference through the field, but The front row have a difference of opinion. Max goes medium. Swanton goes hard. 4 outliers. Swanton, Syme, Sainsey and TMK on the hard tyres. Everybody else goes mediums, so nobody gambling on softs this week. 27 laps the race. And we've had very clean races here in DRS recently with few safety cars. Even around Monaco last week. As usual, Max and Swanton have blasted away into the distance. Smug is keeping it nice and slow. And they're all backing up behind him. So the front two might want to slow it down a little bit. 1 stop or 2, says Amazon. And no mention of softs from them either. Even on the 2-stopper. So the hard tyre looks to be the one for the majority of the laps. Max and Swanton have ridiculously already made the grid, while the majority of the field are still coming through into sector 3. Yeah, the hard runners certainly could do without a safety car at the beginning, because everybody else will jump on the hards and stay there, I believe. Craggy pointing his car very aggressively towards the centre there. Look at that. He's parked that almost fully at an angle.
Good luck, everyone.
Here we go then. They come into line. We've got a front-on view. Disabled DRS for the first lap, of course. 5 lights on, 5 lights off, and away we go. Craggy got a really good start, and Max was a little bit shaky, but Craggy couldn't take advantage at all there. And Max has got away in the lead from Swanton. Then Senna and Smug side by side. Senna into 3rd from Smug. Then Craggy, Syme, 50 Gent and TMK tangling. Yellow flag at the back. Mr. Pickles had a great start. He's passed Marvsky. And after his title rival, Sloth. And off is Al Newt. And now who's that? That's Smug. Smug had a spin out the corner there and has lost several places. He's dropped to 11th, and his hard work in qualifying has been undone. Senna now passing Swanton for P2, but had a wobble and Swanton's going to come back at him. Collins off now and in the wall. Who was that? 2 of them. Marvsky and Mr. Pickle. Marvsky and Mr. Pickle are out. Marvsky and Mr. Pickle are out. Colin and Swanton had some kind of Colin and Smug, had some kind of incident as well. We've got a full safety car and we have lost Mr. Pickle and Marvsky on lap 1. Craggy into the pits, nobody else at the moment. So is Craggy going for the hards to the end? Colin and Smug are in the pits as well. So do we... And Colin is out of the race. And now there's been a big pile-up at the safety car. Senna, Swanton and Max. I think nobody expected the safety car to be where it was. And it caused a big kind of pile-up almost. That almost went very wrong for a few of them. Max Leeds, they've managed to sort it all out, and I don't think anybody got any damage from it. We'll just check the front wings if we can. I think everybody is intact. So the event will start then as we gain our breath. And the running order on lap 2 behind the safety car is still Max in the lead. Senna is now second. Swanton is third. Syme in P4. The two hard runners maybe not losing as much advantage as you thought an early safety car would, with most of the others not pitting. Sloth is in P5 from Skippy, then it's Sainsy. Al Newt from 50 Gent. TMK's up into the top 10. And the two who did box are Craggy and Smug. Smug well known for going long distances on the hard tyres, but I believe he's got a broken front wing. So we might see Smug come into the pit lane again here. No, we haven't yet. Smug does have a broken front wing. And you'd have hoped that they fixed that when he pitted, but of course now if he did box again he wouldn't have the right tyres, so it's an unfortunate one for him. He's known of course for being able to take the tyres to the very extreme, as Craggy and TMK get close together there. Craggy had to bail out onto the grass there. Maybe a little careless from TMK in front.
Feedback and might have taken Mark out.
Apparently Pickle had a technical issue, let's say. And it might be the reason for the double DNF early. Of course, that will all end up on the steward's room floor, which I take great pride in staying well away from. Just a reminder that Miami for Blobby Mondays follows this broadcast at 10 PM. If you're watching on the DRS feed, come and join us on Blobby_Butler on Twitch or Blobby Butler on Kick if you'd like to watch that one later on. That's from 10 PM after we're done here in the land of the rising sun, where it's been all sunshine so far for Max. And the safety car is in this lap. There's a bit of a late call, I think, as well. Not as early as it could have been, and Max is taking full advantage and backing them right up. TMK may have been caught out by that. Swap places momentarily with 50 Gent. You'll see them come from behind my face as they go through that part of the track. Max had a little wobble at the last corner, and he could be vulnerable here. He could be very vulnerable here, as Senna's got a run on him, but stays behind. Craggy, the one making a move early, passes TMK and is up to P10, as he'll now hope to come through the field.
Colin DNF is due to internet issues again for the 5th time this season.
Colin DNF was internet issues. Again, Joker keeping us up to date from the drivers chat. And yeah, I did see him glitch a couple of times. So unfortunate. I know Senna's had some internet problems as well that have kicked him out mid-race. It's very frustrating. I've had it happen to me. On the rare occasions that I actually race now, which is not often. Still plenty of driver's seats available later on for anyone who fancies a go in Miami. A few regulars sitting out this week. Smug now makes the move on TMK. At the front, Swanton closing in on Senna. Everyone close together, of course, after that safety car. And Max sets the fastest lap. And surprisingly enough, nobody beat it. So early drama, maybe caused by equipment failures.
Booty say that blobby commentators curse. Face with tears of joy.
Yeah, it was just the discussion of things happening. It's when I say people have got it in the bag that I commentators curse them, as you'll see if you're following my TikTok, where I famously said, and Brad Mason looks to have it in the bag, and then he spun and crashed. And I don't think he was best pleased with me. Also, of course, spawned the infamous line, Brad Pitts, which was completely accidental. Max from Senna, Swanton in third. Bit of a gap then to Syme. Craggy making another move, past 50 Gent into P9. Al Newt is trying to pressure Sainsey. Is he going to get out of his teammates' way, as they're obviously going for the Constructors' Championship as well? Swanton this lap, fastest lap of the race. Craggy beats it. Al's going for the move on Sainsey and gets it. Sloth further forward has passed Syme. So Sloth up to P4. Skippy, after a bad qualifying, is in P6. He's doing well. Al Newt has now passed Sainsey, who's got Craggy trying to follow. And now Swanton making the move on Senna. Swanton up to P2. And a yellow in Sector 1. Somebody's come off. It's 50 Gent. 50 Gent has come off. And in fact, it's TMK as well. TMK has spun. I believe 50 Gent came off. It may have been involving Smug as well, who's still struggling with that front wing. Swanton up to P2 then. Senna must have made a mistake because he's lost time and almost fallen into the clutches of Sloth. Craggy is now pursuing Sainsey, and Sainsey's going for Al Newt. Craggy's got to be careful here, otherwise they're going to be three wide. Up the inside of Sainsey goes Craggy. Gets it done. Now they're all trying to go through the chicane together, and they make it work. Good driving by all three of them. Picks up a toe from his teammate, and he will now go by and take P7. Al Newt trying to defend from Sainsey, who retakes the place. 50 Gent into the pit lane. Craggy up to 7th. Skippy trying to chase down Syme, who struggled a bit for pace on the hard tyres. Unlike Swanton, who's keeping with Max at the moment.
Go on, Sainsey.
Sainsey in a good battle with the McLarens there. Craggy, not his fight of course, but Al Newt certainly is. Syme now caught in a bit of a sandwich between Sloth and Skippy. Craggy will try and close the gap behind. He's a couple of seconds back from Skippy at the moment. Swanton closing in for the lead. Swanton missed the consistency with his proud record of only DNFing once in about a million races. Craggy fastest lap of the race. Sloth going for Senna. P3 now for Sloth. He's having a terrific race as he looks to keep control of the Pro-Am. Hello to Mr. Pickle in the chat. Sorry to see you go out early. Welcome to have a go in Miami later on if you like. Max and Swanton still very close. Al Newton Sainsey still battling, and Al Newt has retaken that position.
Lost all feedback, smiling face with tear.
And now Swanton, has he got a run on Max this time? No, he hasn't. But he's now applying pressure. Yeah, very unfortunate, Mr. Pickle.
I've rage quit off the PC low.
Ah, fair play. We've all been there. Swanton again having a run, trying to get to the lead. He's not managed to pass the kick Sauber yet, but he's really applying the pressure now. Goes to the outside. Max having to defend hard now. Senna trying to follow Sloth closely. Max using all his battery, I think, to stay ahead. Sloth goes to the inside. Senna is going to go past him around the outside. And Syme might try and follow as well. Senna back into P3. Then Sloth, Syme, Skippy and Craggy. Try to keep with this battle for the lead. Max defending just in the right places at the moment. If Craggy can go to the end, he's in a great position here. Yellow in sector 1 is for Sainsey, I think. Sainsey is off. Where is he? There he is. He's gone off. And that's a shame. He was battling Al Newt. He's now dropped down to P10 behind Smug. Swanton again getting very close. Nose to tail. Is he going to make a move around the outside this time? No, he is not. But can he make something happen? Or is Max just going to have enough battery again to get away before the DRS? Not this time, I don't think. Swanton, side by side, in front before turn 1. Swanton into the lead of the race. These two have pulled 4 seconds clear of Senna now, who defends from Sloth, Syme, Skippy, and now Craggy as well, joining on to the back of this train. The rest behind, spaced out. Al Newt, Smug, Sainsey, TMK, 50 Gent. We look at these 5. And we look at Max as well. Trying to keep now with Swanton. But of course, everyone in front of Craggy has got to box. Craggy may not have to. He could take the hards to the end, having boxed under the safety car. He's got to be careful because he's got 4 cars in front of him to overtake. If he can. Here's going to be the first one, is it? Side by side, and did he cut the corner? No, he's made it work. And he's into P6 now, ahead of Skippy. As we watch Sloth, and Swanton loses the lead there to Max. Sloth retakes Senna for P3. And Craggy's right in amongst the train now, and Skippy is dropping back slightly. Great battle. This is going to be Simon went a bit wide there. As they all make it through. The ones who didn't pit surely now hoping for another safety car to negate the advantage that Craggy may well have. And Smug as well. He's not a million miles behind. Senna looking for a move on Sloth. They all come through that chicane together. Syme in the difficult position of trying to attack and defend, and they could end up 4 wide here. Senna cuts in front of Craggy. Craggy's trying to thread the needle. Did he hit Senna? He got blocked out though. Senna on the inside of Sloth. And Senna makes the move. Craggy managed to get Syme, but he could have got everyone there if he wasn't blocked by Senna. TMK's picked up the first track limits penalty of the race. He's running down in 11th at the moment, having boxed early on. And Craggy had a wobble out the corner, and he's going to lose out to Syme and Skippy. Just pushing that little bit too hard there, and he's undone some of his good work. All this battling enabled Senna to get a little jump on the chasing pack. Swanton is once again pursuing Max. We've seen a couple of daring overtakes through here. Max positions his car well. Craggy retaking Skippy. Another one of those daring moves through that high-speed corner. And into the pits comes Senna. And Swanton retakes the lead. Swanton back into the lead. Al Newt also into the pit lane. So there you see, Senna will rejoin behind Smug and behind Sainsey. So if Smug can go to the end, he's still got a good chance of a podium here. Again, this close battle. Other tyres starting to go off for Sloth and Max. And Skippy as well. He's still sticking with them though, Skippy, to his credit. Just reaching half a race distance to the medium runners. They're going to box for hards. Now's the time. Little nudge maybe from Craggy there on Syme. And a caution in sector 2s for TMK again, who's lost a place of 50. Max is in, Sloth is in, and Skippy is in. So as I said, the medium runners all in now. Where are they going to come out? Max is on his way. Smug is he going to get past? Max and Smug close. Can't see a thing. Smug is ahead of Max. Sainsy and Senna go through ahead of Sloth and Skippy. So Max has rejoined in P5. Remember, Craggy and Smug do not need to stop again, potentially. Max is all over the back of Smug already. Craggy still trying to get past Syme. And Senna is on the case of Sainsy. TMK in the pits as well. Caution in Sector 1 is a McLaren. It's Al Newt. Al Newt is off in the gravel trap. And he had just pitted. So maybe the hard tyres didn't warm up for him quite well enough. Or maybe he made a mistake, but he's dropped down. And now Senna side by side with Sainsy. And Senna passes, and Craggy has got past Syme and up into P2. Max at the moment stuck behind Smug. But I don't think that is going to be for long. Max pulls alongside and makes a routine pass for P4. He'll now hope he can get some lap times in to reel in those ahead of him. Syme and Swanson, of course, still to pit. Sainsy as well, down in 7th, who's got Sloth behind him. He could do with holding Sloth up a bit, actually. So maybe would help him to stay out a little bit if he's holding Sloth up. Caution in Sector 2, TMK is out of the race, and we've got a virtual safety car. TMK is out of the race. This car has disappeared. It is only a virtual safety car, but could that be the difference for Swanson, who is coming into the pits? Now, is Craggy going to box as well? He does. Swanson, Craggy and Syme into the pits, and DRS is re-enabled now, so we are racing again. And does that mean that Max and Smug can get by? They're all in the pit lane. They're all moving in the pit lane. And where is Max going to be? Swanson comes out in the lead. Max and Smug go through ahead of Craggy and Syme. Sainsy into the pits now. So this has worked beautifully for Swanson, who now has the fresh mediums and has the lead. Al Newt is going to get past Sainsy, who rejoins in P10. Swanson then in the lead. Max is second. Smug and Craggy go through the corner together. And Craggy is going to get the move with fresher rubber. Smug won't give it up without a fight though. And is still going with him. And in the end has to yield. Smug has still got that broken wing, of course. And remarkably is right up there amongst it. Let's see now if the onrushing Syme, Senna, Sloth, Skippy are going to get Smug, or if he's going to have to box again. I'm sure if that virtual had been a full safety car, he would have done. Can Swanson hold this and pick up a very important victory? think that Craggy will be world champion if it stays as it is. If the gap is above 50 points with 2 races to go, then he will be world champion. Sainsey passing Al Newt. They've had a good battle today, those two. And Sainsey puts the V car back into P9. Let's check in with the Pro-Am race though, because it's actually all in the order. The top 6 are the pros, and then the back 5 are the Pro-Ams. Sloth was mixing it early doors. He still leads the Pro-Am race, which is the most important thing for him. Syme now looking for a move on Smug. Craggy trying to get towards Max. Swanton fastest lap of the race, and he is pulling away from Max. Here goes Syme on Smug, goes to the outside and gets it done. Syme into P4. Next behind Smug is Senna, if he can close in as well. Al Newt repassing Sainsey. Good battle these two are having. And it is for a podium in the Pro-Am at the moment. Behind Sloth and Skippy. Senna now closing on Smug as Craggy closes on Max. Oh, good run by Senna, and Smug had a wobble out of the corner which didn't help him, but Senna went on by into P5. Still got much better grip on those tyres that are 10 laps younger than Smug's, and of course with that wing as well. Craggy now to the outside of Max, wheel to wheel. And Max had there was a bit of a wheel bang there, I think. And Craggy has got past, but I think there was contact. Either that or Max had a bit of a power slide at the same time. Now, can Max keep Craggy occupied? Or is Craggy going to get after Swanton and try and close this gap for the race win? How it stands. Oh, Max has almost lost it. A really good save from Max there. He very nearly put it in the wall. Sloth now passes Smug and puts a nice buffer between himself and Skippy. Which is the most important thing at the moment in his quest to become the Pro-Am champion. Mr. Pickle's fortunes just tailing off after a really strong start to the season. So Max has failed to stay with Craggy. Now can Craggy reel in that 5-second gap to Swanton? He's on to secure the World Championship today. Smug in the pits. He's had to give up on that long stint. Sainsey makes a move again on Al Newt. Smug going for softs, which is brave with 6-7 laps to go. And where's he going to come out? Right in the midst of these two, I think. In fact, they're going to clear him comfortably. They clear him very comfortably, and now he's going for a dive up the inside of Sainsey. Really good battle these two are having. And Sainsy stays ahead for now. Smug then going for a fastest lap attempt. Sainsy almost lost it. And Al Duke went into the back of him a bit. And did Al get some damage there? No, it appears not. Sainsy almost lost it. And Al said, thanks very much, and took the place back. Smug then will be after fastest lap from P10. Craggy not making an impression on that 5 seconds at the moment. As Swanton begins lap 21. There you can see the gap. Sainsy again trying to close on Al Newt. If the soft tyres hold out, Smug could well get to these two by the end, but at the moment he's losing time to them. So maybe the soft tyres are not the ones here. Sainsy and Al Newt again. Sainsy into P8. This battle for third place in tonight's Pro-Am race. Everybody else slightly gapped out now, spaced out by 3 or so seconds each. Skippy not managing to make any impression on Sloth for the Pro-Am lead. Senna's dropped away from Syme. Who's had a good race today, but doesn't look like he's going to make a podium. Sainsy and Newty, great entertainment with their battle, and it's not over yet. Smug is now closing. And let's just see how quick his lap time is as well. It's 2.5 seconds better than his previous best. So this could be the fastest lap of the race coming for Smug. Here he comes to the line, and it is the fastest lap of the race. It's a 1:30.4. Smug takes the fastest lap, and barring anybody else having a late pit stop and a go, 50 gent perhaps, there will not be anybody to challenge that, I don't think. Sainsy trying to get away now from Al Newt. Craggy has brought the gap down by a couple of tenths. Al Newt very wide there. And now falls out of that second gap to Sainsy. The gap between Swanton and Craggy still 5 seconds. Smug is now closing in quite quickly on Al Newt. Gap down to 5 seconds. So a couple more hot laps from Smug, though. It seems that he put everything into that last one because he's a second and a half slower this lap. Newty has got back to within the second of Sainsy. Caution in sector 1. Who's that? Is it Skippy? It is Skippy. Skippy's gone off. And you can see he's trailing gravel all over the track. So there goes any chance of him closing in on Sloth. But he's managed to get back on the track before the onrushing Sainsy Al Newt and Smug, so it's not cost him anything at the moment. Let's just have a look, see if the Williams has any damage. No, it looks fine. Just a bit dusty from the gravel trap. So, looks to have got away with that one, Skippy. He had a big gap to this battle between Sainsbury and Al Newt, which is ongoing, and Smug is trying to close in on, but is running out of laps to do so. Three laps remaining at the end of this one. Swanton has extended the lead to Craggy now. Al Newt again closes on Sainsbury, but doesn't make the move this time. Smug now within the 4-second mark of the two in front. But how versatile are those soft tyres? From my own experience, I tried them in Mexico once, and they lasted about a lap and a half. And very wide goes Al Newt there, in the gravel, and stuff like that will help Smug close the gap. That's took another half a second, at least, out of that gap, which is now down to under 3.5. Syme is also rapidly closing on Max. Could he still have a chance of a podium? Has Max made a mistake somewhere? 3 laps to go. Craggy has dropped well away now from Swanton. Syme trying to close Max. Al Newt has fallen away from Sainsbury, and Smug is now really on his case, just 2.5 seconds the gap. So it does look like Smug will catch Al Newt. Whether he'll pass him or not is another matter entirely, of course. But 3 laps with which to do it. Also, there is Syme and there is Max, and he is going to close within a second now. There you see it. And Syme could be on for a late burst for a podium. 50 Gent is in the pits for a fastest lap attempt, I would assume. He might be lapped by Swanton, so he might have one less lap to try it in. Swanton coming round to start lap 26 of 27 and does lap 50 Gent. Syme, does he get DRS here? Don't think he did, but he is still gaining. Swanton's pace incredible. Al Newt off, and there's the answer to Smug passing Al. Al had another mistake there, and Smug takes the place, but he's 3 seconds back from Sainsbury, who looks to have held that P8. Syme has another lap and a half to get to and get past Al Newt into the pits now. He had the free pit stop anyway. Because 50 is well back. Can Syme make an impression on Max? He's within the second. Is he going to get near enough with that DRS down the main straight to start the final lap? Newty rejoins. Very isolated indeed. Max locking up. Syme trying to follow. Half a second. Is he going to get him with DRS now? Max goes defensive. Syme, has he got enough? He hasn't on this occasion. And is that going to be that? Or can Syme find a way past on the final lap? We will stay with these two. And they're actually closing in on Craggy as well, but too little too late. Craggy really not found the pace on the medium tyre today. And Swanton, in the end, has got a comfortable 10-second lead. Smug closing on Sainsey, but I think too little too late there. 2 seconds the gap. Can Syme do it? And off goes Smug! Smug off! Can Syme get to... In fact, they're really closing on Craggy, who may have run out of fuel. Craggy may have run out of fuel here. Swanton wins in Suzuka. Craggy, he's going to come home. I think he's struggling on low fuel, but he makes it home second. Syme to the line, just held by Max World for P3. Syme in fourth. Senna comes home in fifth place. Sloth comes home for another victory in the Pro-Am for P6. Skippy, another podium in the Pro-Am. But the title is in Sloth's hands. Sainsey will come home in P8 and P3 of the Pro-Am. Smug will be next home in P9. Still with a broken wing. And Al Newt will be the last one across the line on the same lap. And he's tearing some time out of his personal best. Can we see a fastest lap from Al Newt on the final round? Let's see. Comes towards the line now. It's not going to be for him, but a P10 for Al Newt ahead of 50 Gent, who finished a lap down in P11. Craggy, the driver of the day, and subject to ratification with the stewards, etc., before the race is formally published, Craggy is world champion.
Well done, Swanton, Craggy and Max.
Swanton takes the victory today, though, for Ferrari. Craggy, world champion, subject to the official result, but he's done enough to maintain that big gap with only 2 races remaining. Max in third. Still will battle Swanton and Joker for that second place in the championship. Syme in P4 for Mercedes, followed by Senna in P5 for Williams. Sloth, one hand on the trophy in the Pro-Ams, ahead of Skippy and Sainsey. Smug with the fastest lap of the race. Al Newt in P10 and 50 Gent in P11. The DNFs were TMK, Colin, Mr. Pickle and Marvsky. So that brings us to the end of the first instalment of racing on your Monday night doubleheader. We are now taking a very long flight from Japan to Miami. Join us at 10 p.m. for Blobby Monday in Miami. And remember, DRS guys, there are seats available if you want to race. That's it for now. See you again at 10 p.m. Good night.